Welcome to Mid-American Gardener. I'm Jim Schuster. I'm a retired extension horticulturist and plant pathologist. And we're going to start off immediately with a round of emails, and we'll start with you, Kent.
Okay, thanks. Got an email with regards to peonies, and it's from a caller from Decatur that sent in this email. Our peonies haven't done well due to the shade. When is the best time to transplant, and do you need full or partial sun? Thanks for your program and information you supply. Generally, peonies, on transplanting, they generally prefer October to November for the time of year to do it. You want to do it before the ground freezes in the fall, and generally October is going to be a little bit more water rainfall, which will help establish the roots before winter. You want to plant them about 2 inches below the soil surface, and preferably full sun works out best for peonies. You can go a little bit of the afternoon sun would be more preferred if you do have a shady location. Okay.
You know, don't they take 1 or 2 years to come back into bloom after they've been moved?
Generally, after a transplant, they do take a couple of years to get established, and you'll get a few blooms the first couple of years,
right.
But generally it takes about 3 or 4 before it kicks into full production.
I just want to make sure that people didn't think they screwed up when it doesn't come back into bloom.
Yes.
Okay, Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Nelson. I'm a horticulture educator with the University of Illinois Extension, and I have a show and tell instead of an email for this round. A lot of us are thinking about starting seeds this time of year. This is a heat mat for starting seeds. They're available all over the place this time of year. I was really reluctant to buy one because they're about $20 for this size. And you might think, oh, I'll just use a heating pad, but that's not safe to use around water. This is designed to be used under a flat. This is exactly the size of a flat for seed starting. And this is a real basic model. You can get models that would adjust specific temperatures. This just raises the temperatures a few degrees above what your room temperature is. I tried it and it works great. My germination rates on seeds went up dramatically, and everything comes up more or less at the same time. You're not having this big staggered germination in your flats. So it's definitely worth the investment. This is about 7 years old and it's still going strong. I haven't broken it yet, so that's a good investment, I think, for the home gardener.
All right, thank you. And now your turn.
Yes, hi, I'm Kai Zadarani. I'm a program director for horticulture and landscape design at Parkland College. And question I have today is actually from Mary Dickinson. Hi, Mary, from Loda. And it's with regards to a black tupelo, Nyssa sylvatica. Apparently that's about 5 years old. And apparently, based on what you've provided us, Mary, you've been following the right watering instructions and so on. But you're having issues apparently with the foliage and having some brown spots on them. They're great trees, great fall color. A couple of key things to remember about the black tupelo or Nyssa sylvatica. They prefer a slightly high pH, so make sure you're working with the soil on that. And then the other key thing is also watering. It sounds like you're doing the watering. The leaf spots that you're seeing, that is something that they're prone to. They're prone to actually leaf spots and rust, as some of us know. So I don't think it's anything that you're doing wrong. Just make sure you follow the proper watering practices, not over watering it, and hopefully you should be okay. But no worries. I mean, anytime we have issues with plants, we all do get concerned. So just hang in there.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
I have an email from M. Murphy. He has 2 crab apples. One is 20 years old, and the other one is about a year old. They basically had no leaves, and the symptoms suggest apple scab, which is very true for crab apples. And the internet said to spray the trees next spring 3 times, and they were asking for more details on how to do that spraying and with what to spray with. Well, first of all, the apple scab attacks at bud break, so you're going to want your first spray going on when the bud is about 1/4 green, and then you're going to spray according to labeled directions for the interval, every time until you have gotten past 2 weeks past petal drop. And the chemicals that you can use are Captan, chlorothianol, sulfur, and if that one is going to be used, watch the temperature and your concentration, because it's considered a hot fungicide, which means it can burn easily when misused. Then another one is propiconazole, and then a potassium bicarbonate, and then calcium polysulfide. Those are some of the products that will help you control apple scab. Now, I'd like to have you know, go to Do You Know Now. Hi. Again, we're now going to take some phone calls, and our first one on line 1 is a tree hit by lightning. Hello, listener.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I just got a quick question. I have I believe it's a maple tree in my yard, and it had been hit by lightning like 2 different times in the past 2.5 years, and I'm going to be cutting it down this spring, hopefully. And is it okay I'd like to plant a tree basically in the same area that it's in, close to where it actually grew, because it's kind of like centrally located in my yard, and I wanted to make sure it'd be okay to plant it close to that, or if the roots from the tree I'm cutting down is going to choke it off or stop it from growing.
That would be my only, I would say, a concern is, depending on the size of the tree that you cut down, is the root mass that you would be dealing with. Although the tree has been cut down, I mean, you still have the root mass, and so your new tree would be competing, not so much for the moisture, but just root space, and that would be my opinion. I mean, you know, if you can move it slightly away, depending on what you're planning on, what your new tree will be, just see if you can get it slightly farther away.
Okay, I'm looking at planting a fruit tree, possibly, hopefully an apple tree. Would at least 5 feet away from it be okay, or would you recommend a longer distance than that?
Again,
Yeah, how
it
big a
much
diameter is the trunk?
right?
It's probably about a foot in diameter.
Oh, so an apple tree would be much smaller.
Yeah, and 5 feet out on a 1 foot diameter trunk should be past all the big roots. Yeah,
So you think it'd be okay then, or it would not be okay?
I would say yes.
I would say yes too.
Okay, all right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now we're going to line 3, and we have tulip bulbs and what to do with them, I assume, in the wintertime.
That is correct. We bought a bag of bulbs, and we need to know, and we forgot about them. We need to know how we can save them through the winter.
Oh, I can answer that because I did the exact same thing. I was tempted by some bargain bulbs that were $1 a bag in December, and I had every intention of buying them. This was a few years ago, and the ground wasn't frozen. I forgot about them. I left them in my garage, which was unheated, and come April, I decided what did I have to lose? I just decided to go out and plant them, and a lot of them bloomed that year. And since then, most every one of them's come back and bloomed. In my case, it was hyacinths and daffodils, but still, the same would apply. They're getting they're getting the cold treatment in your garage. They're just not in the ground.
Right.
That's the key thing: temperature and not having moisture and humidity around them. So yeah, or sometimes people put them in a basement, or anything that is cool and dry is the critical issue there.
As long as the bulb feels heavy and it's not smushy, it's nice and firm, it's worth trying.
Yeah, and if they start looking greenish looking, you've got mold, and you toss that one away.
Yeah, kind of the bluish green.
Yeah.
That green is not healthy. Normally green is good, but not there.
And just leave them in the plastic bag.
I would probably open the plastic
Yeah,
bag.
you want to make sure there's air circulation.
Okay.
Yeah, the best
Thank
bags
you.
normally to store in bags that onions come in, because again, they're kind of the bulb, and so there's air circulation going through and no moisture issues. You should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And now we're going to go to another round of emails. And or you have a show and tell.
I've got show and
Okay.
tell. I brought this in this evening. I cut it this afternoon. This is one of our varieties of pussy willows that we grow at Illinois Willows. This particular variety is called Giant, and left on the plant, these little catkins that you see going up the length of the stem will end up being about the size of your thumb. It's one of our larger catkin producing pussy willows. We also do another one that's called Purple Heirloom, which has a blonde bark with a purple hue to the catkins, and those are parallel where these are staggered up the stem. We do another one that's called Rubikins, which is also on the blonde wood, but it has a pinky hue, and those are more of a miniature little catkin. This is about all the larger those would get. We also do a traditional pussy willow. It's called Discolor, and that will be in a reddish to brown wood, and it has a medium-sized catkin, which is more your traditional that you see everywhere.
How long did it take the catkins to come out once you brought the branch in?
These I forced, so I had to peel back
Okay.
the outside covering. We'll start to cutting them in the next week or so, and then we'll be forcing them. So,
That's nice.
and generally it takes about 2 to 3 weeks,
Okay.
depending on the time of the year.
When you
cut 'em.
force them, do you change the water regularly or
About once a week.
monthly?
We just fill 5-gallon buckets and do it that way.
All right.
I mean, they almost look like you've tinted them with the silver. I
Yeah.
mean, they're just a nice color contrast. I'm sure they make a great arrangement.
Yeah, it's a really nice product for spring, which is also now in the winter.
Right.
You want to see something spring in that. So you can, if you have pussy willows in your home, in your yard, you can go ahead and cut them now and bring them in the house and enjoy them for a month or so or
Oh,
longer.
great.
Beautiful.
I'd like to make a comment for people who are growing pussy willows.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes wise to keep them pruned severely to keep them resuckling, and it also keeps down the cankers that pussy willows get to if you just leave them grow.
Yeah, a lot of salixes will get the cankers and that.
Hey, Jennifer, you have a
Okay, I have another show and tell. This being the new year and time for organizing everything. We see all these ads. This is actually from the office supply aisle, but I decided to use it instead of for files. I use it for seeds. So this is actual seeds from an actual horticulture educator. So as messy or as neat as you think this might be, but it works for me. I keep everything in here, and the key to seed storage is don't store them in your garage. You want to store them somewhere where it's cool and dry, and generally speaking, our garages are neither. So I store this in the house on a shelf, and it does really well for me.
That's great.
now. Some people have asked, can you store them in the refrigerator?
Yeah, I've seen people do that, and I've seen them use different desiccants, like in a jar with seeds. Even powdered milk can be used as a desiccant to keep the seeds dry. You just want to avoid moisture. I've seen people store in the freezer even.
Well,
And moisture has not been an issue with
'Cause,
that?
well, most seeds have very little moisture in
Right.
them, and the moisture is what destroys the viability of the seed
Right,
in the
exactly.
freezer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, go outside the garden department. Go in the office department. It's a
Very
lot.
creative.
It's a lot
Yeah.
cheaper.
That's amazing. Yeah.
all right. No.
All right, my second question is with regards to a lace leaf Japanese maple, and fortunately, this is one that we have in our front yard. Actually, one of our pride and joy, other than our two boys, of course. But the maple is something the caller had this question, or our viewer sent this in. Concern was that. You notice bark peeling at the base, couple of branches and trunk, and I appreciate the pictures you've sent because that helps with our diagnosis or prognosis or whatever the right word might be. Japanese maples, Acer palmatum, the lace leaf ones, couple of key things, and I'll get to the canker issue, but making sure a lot of people don't realize they are susceptible to improper watering. What happens is if you do not water them at the right time, they will have issues with leaf curl. For example, a lot of people, because of the delicate nature of the leaf in summer, think that they need to water them right in the middle of the day while it's hot. Do not do that. Not a good idea. Either slightly early in the morning or a little bit later in the evening certainly helps. And also what happens is they're very prone to verticillium wilt, and sometimes that can take the tree down. That's not the best thing. It's a moisture-related issue. But the canker, primarily, this is something that they are susceptible to if you haven't pruned the tree properly at the base, because a lot of these lace leaf Japanese maples actually have branches at the bottom. So what happens is people will actually try to cut them or prune them at the base, and that is an issue. So please, I mean, that's something you want to be careful with. And sounds like, given your pictures, sounds like it is a canker at the base. I cannot tell if it's a fungal canker. The foliage actually looks pretty healthy. The bark looks healthy. So I would just keep an eye on it, but really there's nothing much you can do at this point. I don't want to encourage spraying. A lot of time people will spray stuff on it or put something on it to prevent that, but actually with some of these issues with the bark, just make sure that it has proper air circulation. If there's anything, also make sure there's no water, standing water. That's where a lot of these fungal cankers happen, right at the base. So that would be my suggestion to you. And looks pretty healthy from the foliage, doesn't it? I mean, that's something I wouldn't worry about.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Now we're going back to the phone calls. And line 1, we are having a honey locust question. Caller 1.
Yeah, I have 2 honey locusts in my backyard, and they're a good distance apart, about 100 yards, and they're about the same age and height. But a while ago, one of them just started dying, and they're about the same level on the ground, and I was wondering why it was dying, because the other one's is really, really healthy.
About how old are these honey locusts?
What?
How old are they?
I'd suspect about like 10 years.
10 years. That's a little young. Honey locusts are prone to some cankers. In fact, a bunch of different kinds of cankers. But generally, they are a lot older and can handle the cankers. And basically, they're a tree that takes a lot of abuse until one day they say that's one abuse too often or too many. And then the canker just, boom, hit the tree, and then it's too late to save them.
Yeah.
But your tree's only 10 years old, and it should be able to take that a lot longer before it starts showing it. So my question would be, how bad is that growing site where that canker is declining? You know, is it a really rocky soil? Is it a really dry area? Is it a really wet area? Something like that. That is different from where the other honey locust is growing.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
And do you have any
Well,
other?
it's a pretty young tree, so and we've had some really dry, really tough summers. So perhaps drought is taking a toll on one of the trees. You don't necessarily know how great the root system is on one tree versus the other, so you may have some differences that you can't see from the above ground.
Yeah, that might definitely be the case, yeah.
You said they're about 100 feet apart. Are they both about the same level, or is
Yes, they
one
are.
tree at a higher elevation than the other?
Yes, they are.
They are at the same level. Okay, and you don't see when you dig in that area or anything like that. You don't see rocks or anything like that.
No?
Were these bald and burlap trees, or were they bare root?
What'd you say?
Were they bare root or bald and burlap trees, or container grown when they were planted?
Oh, I just had a major error. I'm sorry. They were about 30 to 50 years old.
Oh, then that changes it
Yeah,
entirely.
now you've got the stress of old age. Yeah, they're very prone to the cankers at that age. Yes. So yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do with that. The cankers, basically, as we were mentioning on the other trees, there are no chemicals that really work on the cankers.
Oh, yeah?
And so it's a matter of you prune them out, you try and fertilize, you water when they're in drought stress and things like that, and you can hope that you can delay their death. But if you, with honey locusts, they just tend to load up so badly with cankers that there's not a whole lot of hope for them. So, you know, fertilizing and watering may delay the death process, but it's probably going to continue dying for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Okay, we're going to line 2, and it's about growing peanuts in Illinois.
Yeah, I'm curious. If I build one of those underground greenhouses, if I'd be able to get some peanuts going around here.
Well, I work mainly in Decatur, Illinois, which is in the middle of the state, and we've grown peanuts there successfully with no special setup, just a regular garden. Yeah, it's really possible here. You got to pay attention to how long of a season they need, because there's different varieties take a longer summer than others. They're more suited to like Virginia and southern part of the U.S., but it's possible. The biggest problem we had was deer. Deer feel like it's just the biggest treat ever, and so every time the plants were flowering, we would turn around and the deer had just mowed off all the flowers. And it's quite an interesting plant to grow, especially if you have kids that are interested in gardening, and a lot of adults don't realize that peanuts grow underground, that they flower above ground and then the stems grow down underground. We grew it for the TV news station out there, and they were really pretty awestruck by the whole process.
Traditionally, they're called ground nuts. So
Yeah.
people, they grow under the ground.
And you had no trouble with mice?
Where we were, we had more trouble with deer than we did with mice, but I could see where mice would also think that you planted a giant smorgasbord for them.
we did peanuts up in the Chicago area, and we got nothing. Because when we started picking up plants, we just found chewed up, and you could see the mice tunneling holes.
I have that problem with sweet potatoes.
Yes, they did that too.
What varieties would you recommend?
Oh, off the top of my head, I can't say. I just would look in your seed catalogs. You'll have different maturity dates, and look for something with smaller or shorter maturity length on it. So you don't want something that needs 110 days of summer, because we may or may not get that.
All right. We're going to go to line 4, and on indoor plants, that the plants have some rusty spots on the foliage. Anybody, person, line 4?
Yes.
What?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yes.
Go ahead.
What type
I
of?
have indoor plants. Some are vining and some are not. Some are vining plants and some are not. I have 4 that I call elephant ears. And I have 1 small fern, and the rest are vining. And keep getting rust spots on them, and it eats away the leaves where it's located.
When you say,
Also, the plants get it on the edge of the leaves also. And if I cut it off, the plants just stay brown like that.
when you say rust spots, are you talking about a rusty looking color, or actually, because I don't know of any houseplants that really get rust.
No.
So, but there are some leaf disease that do cause a
It just,
reddish brown spot.
If it's in the leaf, like in the center or on the leaf itself, it's usually a circle.
Okay.
And
But
it just like eats it out.
Sounds like maybe a bacterial spot.
yeah,
or
I was
just,
thinking bacterial leaf spot. And
Yeah, it wouldn't be rust. But
no.
right. Yeah, a
Look
bacterial
at-
leaf
yeah.
spot does attack a wide range of houseplants, and there's not a whole lot. It's bacteria. There are not any fungicides that work on bacterias, and I don't know of any bactericide that's cleared for indoor use. So basically, what you can do is, you can hope that it's just a spot and not systemic type disease. And so, if it's only a spot, you can cut off the leaf, and hopefully that'll help control it. And also, do not mist the plants, because the misting may help spread the disease.
No, I don't.
Well, and some of the plants that you're describing sound like they would naturally do better outside, like an elephant ear is going to do better out in your garden than in your house any
really?
day. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So they might be struggling. Wintertime's the worst time for house plants.
Oh, okay. Okay, I appreciate that. All right then, thank you.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. And now we're going to go to the magazine quiz. All right, now we're going to go to line 3, and a homeowner is calling about a Glardia plant. Line 3.
It's the LaGuardia plant. I'm
Okay.
having problems getting this thing started. 2 years in a row. I bought 2 of them last year, and they're not cheap. I bought one from Ace, and I bought 2 from Lowe's.
do you have the tag on them, ma'am? I mean, would you be able to spell that out for us? Is it?
You know what?
Is
I'm going to have to look it up.
Okay.
I might not be
Yeah.
spelling it or pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're-
it's not ringing a bell
No,
with
it's
me.
not
Right.
ringing a bell with
Yeah.
me either.
Okay, well, I'll call you back again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Now, all right, I still have an email here on peaches, and they were talking about it. It seemed like it's oozing sap through the leaves, and the leaves are turning brown. I'm just going to recommend for you to try a home fruit orchard spray to help control the disease and insects, and start spraying as soon as the leaves start showing up. And now I want to thank you all for joining us at Mid-America Garden, and be back with us again next week.